We've gathered here to celebrate women and her strength to fight whatever comes her way. Here's to strong women. May we know them, may we be them, and may we raise them. With no further ado, I would like to call upon Ananya to commence the event by seeking the Almighty's blessing.
Good morning to one and all present here. Wishing you all a very happy Women's Day. And I'm Ananya from 6th semester EC Department, School of Engineering. So I'll be commencing the event with a small song. नमस्ते शरण्ये शिवे स्वानुकम्पे नमस्ते जगद्व्यापिके विश्वरूपे नमस्ते जगद्वन्द्य पादारविन्द्ये नमस्ते जगत्कारिणी त्राहि दुर्गे नमस्ते शरण्ये शिवे स्वानुकम्पे नमस्ते जगद्व्यापिके विश्वरूपे नमस्ते जगद्वन्द्य पादारविन्द्ये नमस्ते जगत्कारिणी त्राहि दुर्गे नमस्ते जगद्वन्द्यमानस्वरूपे नमस्ते महायोगिनी ज्ञानरूपे नमस्ते सदानन्दनन्दस्वरूपे नमस्ते जगत्कारिणी त्राहि दुर्गे नमस्ते जगद्वन्द्यमानस्वरूपे नमस्ते महायोगिनी ज्ञानरूपे नमस्ते सदानन्दनन्दस्वरूपे नमस्ते जगत्कारिणी त्राहि दुर्गे अनाथस्य दीनस्य दृक्ष्णातुरस्य भयातस्य भीतस्य बन्धस्य जन्तो त्वमेवागतिर्वेदिनि सारदात्रि नमस्ते जगत्कारिणी त्राहि दुर्गे अनाथस्य दीनस्य दृक्ष्णातुरस्य भयातस्य भीतस्य बन्धस्य जन्तो त्वमेवागतिर्वेदिनि सारदात्रि नमस्ते जगत्कारिणी त्राहि दुर्गे नमस्ते जगत्कारिणी त्राहि दुर्गे. Thank you.
Thank you, Ananya. That was indeed really blessing. Now I would like to call upon Professor Nandini Rao, ma'am, EC Department, School of Engineering, and she will be taking over from here. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. To all the lovely women out there, a very happy Women's Day in advance. Every woman is fierce. She has a robust spirit which allows her to excel in every area, you name it. Every year, we celebrate International Women's Day on 8th March to greet her both to the unbound energy and overwhelming spirit of Nari. Dayananda Sagar University has planned to organize today's event to motivate, inspire the hidden Durga in each of us. Today, we are here to have conversation with the phenomenal guest speakers discussing the theme on Women of Today for a Better Tomorrow. Let me tell you about the First Lady in India to complete triple FRCs from the UK. She is none other than Dr. Chandrama Sagar with degrees MBBS, FRCS from London, Edinburgh and Glasgow. Sagar Chandrama hospitals were established in 1963. Chandrama Nursing Home was founded by Dr. Chandrama Sagar. Today, rechristened as the Sagar Chandrama Hospitals, this facility caters to the needs of the woman, mother, and newborn child. Dr. Chandrama Sagar was who went on to become nationally renowned physician and was considered an eminent personality among the best obstetricians and gynecologists in the country. Amidst her many achievements, she served as the personal doctor to the first citizen of the country and the first citizen of the state. Dr. Chandrama Sagar is the inspiration behind the Sagar Hospital Group. This year, 2021-22, we are celebrating centenary celebration on account of 100th birth anniversary of our beloved founder, late Shri Dayananda Sagar. Dayananda Sagar institutions were founded in 60s by great visionary Shri Sagar ji, who committed to take knowledge to the people, transforms today's students into responsible citizens and professional leaders of tomorrow. The Sagar University, created by an act of Karnataka state in 2014, built on this adorable legacy and inspired by its soon milestones, meeting the needs of quality higher education in this part of the world. The Sagar University always stands in the front row when it comes to women empowerment. Gender equality is measurably shown in our employment rate, which is almost 57 and 43. University has given this great chance to listen to empowered leaders of our society and get inspired. So, first of all, I'd like to thank our management for the stage. Now, I take my pleasure in welcoming today's chief guest, Ms. Sishika, IAS Officer, Commissioner of Commercial Taxes, Karnataka State. I welcome you, Madam. I welcome our special invitees, Dr. K.M. Indira Reddy, Gynecologist, Sagar Hospital, Dr. Shri Lakshmi, Advisor of Tenchi Life Sciences STEM, Advocator, Women Co-Founder, Triphase Pharmaceuticals, Vandana Suri, Founder of Taxi, and Pragati Gowda, Rallyist, selected for the Formula Women UK. I also welcome moderator for today's event, Professor C.A. Rajat Rashmi. I extend a genial welcome to Dr. D. Hemachandra Sagar, Chancellor of TSU, and Dr. Premachandra Sagar, Pro-Chancellor of TSU. I welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. K.N.B. Murthy, Registrar, Dr. Puttamadappa C., Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor R. Janardhan, respected deans of all schools of Dayananda Sagar University, Deputy Registrar, Deputy Director, Student Affairs, Chairman of various departments, faculty, and my dear students. A woman is an organizer, administrative leader, director, recreator, partner, daughter, health officer, teacher, and artist. A woman has various roles to play in her life. Let us celebrate her presence, bow to her energy. Let us listen to the great minds we have here with us. Let us get inspired. We have moderator for the event, Professor C.A. Rajat Rashmi, powerful choices coach, founder of Samvad Leadership Dialogues Lab, and happy to say she is adjunct faculty of Dayananda Sagar University. So herewith, I conclude my welcome speech, and now I request Professor Rajat Rashmi to take over the session. Thank you. Rajat ma'am, can you please take over the session?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Thank you, Nandini ma'am. Thank you for the great introduction. Thank you for letting us know about the history of Dayanand Sagar and Dr. Chandrama. It is an honor to know that I'm associated, we are all associated with an institution that has believed in women empowerment right from its outset. So this year's theme for International Women's Day is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. And the DSU believes that empowering the women, the girls of today is going to lead to a sustainable tomorrow. So I would like to begin a discussion with someone who's okay, we are waiting for our chief guest, and here are some trivia from me. Okay, so what is Women's Day? So whenever there is a question to be asked in the classroom, I used to be the first to raise my hand and ask the dumbest question. I still do that. It really works. I must tell you, it really, really works. So here is the one dumb question I asked. Why Women's Day? So Women's Day is actually connected with the American suffrage movement, which was the right to vote. Yes, ma'am?
No, I'm just listening.
Oh, okay, sure. So in 1908, there was an idea of Women's Day planted. A real International Women's Day was celebrated in 1911. It was actually suggested by someone called Clara Zetkin, who was a member of the Socialist Democratic Party in Germany. And there was an international women's conference going on where she suggested this. So a few of the countries celebrated the very first Women's Day on 1911. There was a conflict in dates also. So earlier, Women's Day was celebrated on 23rd February. And then somehow, with all the discussions internationally, it became 8th of March. Now, here's the thing. UN came into picture much later. Today we talk about UN, right? So UN came into picture after the Second World War, when the world leaders decided that it was too much, wars were too much, and we needed some kind of understanding among other nations so that we tend to not fight so much. We tend to not fight wars so much. That's when UN came. UN celebrated the first International Women's Day in 1975. Guys, it's not going to be a disclosure, a great disclosure, if I said that women have always been there on this planet. There are 7 billion people, and that's all been the labor of women. Yes, women have seen discrimination over and over, and I have taken it upon myself to research the history of women and find out what is it after all. Again, the dumbest question to ask was, why are women like this? So I asked that question, and believe it or not, the answers are so compelling, so terrifying at times, so revealing at times, that it really means to me to know why women are how they are. So here's a question which Gerda Lerner asked in one of her books. She is one of the leading women history experts. So excuse me. So she asks, why was women complicit in their discrimination over these thousands of years? Civilization has been there for at least 7,000 years, of whatever 10,000 years. I guess this call is from the college. So Miss Shikha is here, and without taking much of her time, because she has her time is very valuable, ma'am, welcome. And let me introduce Miss Shikha quickly. I will go back to my story in a bit. Yes. So Miss Shikha hails from Bhopal. She's an IAS officer, and we are really honored to have you here, ma'am. Miss Shikha hails from Bhopal and belongs to the Indian IAS batch of 2004. She has worked with the government of Karnataka in various capacities, including positions of commissioner to pre-university education, during which she has strengthened examination and academic system. As Chief Executive Officer of Zilla Panchayat, Dharwad, she received Prime Minister's Award for her work in implementation of scheme under the Manrega policy. During her tenure as Deputy Commissioner of Mysore District, Mysore city was declared as the cleanest city in the country in the year 2015. She held the post of Managing Director, Bangalore Electricity Supply Company, the BESCOM, in 2018 to 2019, and was instrumental in conceptualizing and designing the scheme of converting all overhead infrastructure to underground cabling for the safety of the city. Awesome. She has also worked as Managing Director of Bengaluru Metropolitan Transport Corporation, the BMTC, the bus-based public transport system, and introduced bus priority lane and electric buses to the city. Currently, she's the Commissioner of Commercial Taxes, Karnataka State. Ms. Shikha did her bachelor's in engineering, instrumentation, and control engineering from National Institute of Technology, Trichy in Tamil Nadu, India. Ms. Shikha, we are really honored to have you here, and please a big round of applause for our chief guest. So, ma'am, can we hear you? Yeah, there you are.
Yes, I can hear you, and thank you for a very warm welcome and a kind introduction. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So my first question to you is, tell us about your journey up until now. What inspired to be an IAS officer, ma'am?
So we were 4 siblings, my brother and 3 of us, and my father happened to be an IPS officer. So we have been watching him since the beginning, and he was the inspiration which made me also take to write UPSC exam. And more than IPS, I was always interested in IAS because the diversity of work atmosphere which is there for IAS officer to deliver, the various sectors which are there. For example, if one is interested in the welfare, development, infrastructure development, service sector, all those different kind of stimulus which are available in IAS really inspired me when I interacted with my father's colleagues. So that is how I ended up taking this exam.
Awesome. So what is your secret of success, ma'am?
Hard work. There is no shortcut to success. We worked really hard. At times we were studying for 14 to 16 hours in a day. And along with hard work, I feel that in student life, it is very important to do smart work also. You know, the kind of, especially when it's a UPSC syllabus, which is quite extensive. So what portion should be done and what portion should be focused upon, whether we need, whether there is requirement of coaching in particular sections, mock tests, mock interviews. So that way, it is very important to have a proper exposure to the kind of test or examination which one is taking, and at the same time we should dedicate proper time, because if once we decide and we make up our mind to take a particular task, and then we should ensure that whatever requires, whatever hard work is required, we should be prepared to do that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that. So Ms. Chika, could you share something about yourself which no one knows?
I read that question, but no, certainly not. If nobody knows till now, then it's better left and unsaid.
Maybe a hobby, maybe some hobby that you pursue and.
I during COVID, I picked up painting along with my children. My children had joined this online classes for learning to draw and paint, and I also started doing that with them. So that is really engaging. And I also ride horses. I am a gold medalist in horse riding. So these are the 2 activities which I really enjoy doing. And trekking once in a while on weekends, that's also a thing which I enjoy doing.
Wow. So that's something for us to know, and the students must be really excited about that. So as student, what were your best memories? What are your best memories of school and college?
Friendship is something which I really cherish, especially since I did engineering. I was staying in a hostel, and our friends, our hostel mates were our support system. In fact, recently we commemorated 25 years of our college friendship by going to Machu Picchu. So we trekked and hiked all the way up to Machu Picchu, and we are still in touch. They are still our support system, and that's something which I really cherished.
Awesome. I have heard that Machu Picchu takes a lot of physical endeavor. So it's in my bucket list. So I'm going to definitely come to you and ask your advice on it.
Most welcome.
Thanks. So what is one of the toughest decisions that you have had to make in your professional or personal life, or maybe you can give us one in each?
So what happens when we write this UPSC exams, we are allotted different services based on our rank. So in first attempt, I had gotten Indian Railway Service, and I had done the training also, and it was very comfortable service, and I enjoyed working there also. So it was a very difficult decision for me whether to continue writing for IAS exam or to settle for railways. And because once you have joined the training, and railway provides us a very good and extensive training along with touring of entire country. So that was quite attractive post in itself. So it was a difficult decision whether to continue to work hard or give up and settle in railways. So that's what I thought was a challenge for me.
Okay. And is there a personal challenge you would like to share?
As personal challenge, obviously every day is a challenge, especially with work and personal life balance. Like today I went home at 4 in the morning because budget session was there. So how to balance our personal life and work life is always a challenge, a daily challenge. But I'm sure if one has a very supportive family, understanding parents, understanding spouse, and if we raise our children, making them understand the kind of challenges we face daily, I'm sure it will be an easy part. But I have seen many women who would not have very supportive families, very supportive background, and in spite of that they continue to
Ma'am, we are losing. Yeah.
excel in their works when we approach. Yes, when we approach international, those are the women whom we really should be celebrating, who in spite of all the challenges in their personal life continue to excel in their work life also.
Great. I love your answer. I really love this answer because I know many women who have huge challenges in their homes, and they come here to they come out of the house every day to achieve what they want to achieve. Thanks for that answer. My next question to you is, who is your inspiration, and how has this person made a difference to you? Shikaji, can you hear me? Shikaji, can you hear me? I think we've lost her for a moment. Okay, so she's trying to get in. It would be a good time to think of the people who have inspired us, folks, because I think one of the reasons why we really grow in our lives is because of the people who inspire us. There is a very good poem written by हरिवंश राय बच्चन. पूर्व चलने के बटोही बाट की पहचान कर ले, पुस्तकों में है नहीं छापी गई इसकी कहानी, हाल इसका ज्ञात होता है न औरों की जवानी, अनगिनत राही गए इस राह पर उनका पता क्या, पर गए कुछ लोग इस पर छोड़ पैरों की निशानी, यह निशानी मूक होकर भी बहुत कुछ बोलती है, खोल इसका अर्थ पंथी पंथ का अनुमान कर ले. So, which means that before you start your journey, find out, check the Google map. Okay, that's what it means. In those days, there was no Google. Before you start on a journey, check the Google map to see where you're going. Now, he says that there isn't the route to your success is not written in a book, but there are some people who have made a mark for themselves in the path that you are taking up. See how they progressed. See how what they did and how it made a difference to them. And open those secrets for yourself and achieve something big in your life. Awesome, isn't it? So I was talking about Gerda Lerner some time back. She asked, why was woman complicit in her discrimination over these years? And one of the women studies experts in Stanford University, Anne-Marie Firth, she answers it in one of her journals. She says, because women were busy raising children, which is true, because so if you look at it historically, our civilization would not have grown like it did if we did not have. Shamanta, I hope you are checking how if Shikha ma'am is joining back. I'm looking on to that. Yeah, we are all waiting for her to be back. She was really inspiring. So if you go back in history, the thing was that humans didn't know how women bear children. Okay, they didn't know. Okay, and it was just happening. So they used to think that it's a God's gift and all. So there was a time when men felt very left out in the system because women were having children, and the children would grow and they would love them. And that is when this modern society started developing, because men felt left out, and we had a responsibility towards them. After all, men and women both are our children. But anyway, let's not get into that part. Yes, let's not get into that part. What happened slowly was, as tribes learned that they could protect the women folk, if they could protect the women folk, they could ensure that their tribe would grow bigger and live longer. And that's where this whole process started. Now, that's one side of it. Women historians have actually assessed history from as long back as the Code of Hammurabi. That's about 7,000 years old. And they say that women's situation in the society even then was the same as it is today. There are codes written to control women, to keep them within the four walls of their homes. There were codes written to restrict them from having economic independence. There were codes written to make sure that they were following chastity. Chastity was very important. You know why? Because it was the men folk who would have to hunt and bring food for them when the women were busy, when women were pregnant or when they had small babies. So they didn't want to bring the food for someone else's child. That was the whole idea. So that's how it all began. But then it started working for us to be protected, so that we could have the freedom to take care of the next generation. And that's a very good thing for our society. There is one of the mysteries that is sorted out by Gerda Lerner in her book. It's about the hunting. The human beings were hunter-gatherers. She says that, yes, we were hunter-gatherers and men were big game hunters, but 60% of the food that is put on the table in the homes were not from big game hunting. They were from the small game hunting which the women used to do. 60%, even today, 60% of the food that is put on the tables of homes which are in villages, forests, and which is a bigger population I'm talking about, is women. So there is no reason why we should question the capability of women to be, to be the women. Men come and say that it's man's work. Okay, so we have here Pragati. Okay, we are still waiting for Shikha, IS Shikha, and she's still not been able to join. Shamanta, any news on IS Shikha?
Shikha ma'am is in Vidhan Sauda, and she said there are jammers and she's not been able to join.
Okay, there she is. She's back. She's back.
She's trying to join.
Okay, so we missed you, ma'am.
I'm so sorry. Today is our state budget presentation, and they have put jammers all over the area. So I'm so sorry. Personal regret to the girls who waited that I had this call was.
No problem. So would you be able to continue with this discussion?
Yes. I have 5 minutes more, and I would love to continue if that is possible from your end.
Yes, ma'am. So so we talked about we were actually asking you, who is your inspiration and what difference has this person made for you?
Okay, so I think if we talk about inspiration, then on personal front, my mother has always inspired me very much. She was, and I watched her juggle between school and she was always trying to teach children of neighboring areas, the children of our domestic health. She was always trying, and she has, I think she must have taught more than 10,000 students in her lifetime. And she always tried to ensure that children around her who were those were trying to learn, trying to educate, and trying to achieve something in their lives. So it was really an inspiration to see that somebody doing so much work voluntarily without any kind of interest in what returns one was getting. So that always inspired me.
Sure, thanks. I think that's a great answer. Mothers are an inspiration for most girls. So great that you have your inspiration right at home. So my next question is for the students who are listening in. The girls aspiring to take up the challenging journey of building a formidable career. What would be your advice?
My advice to them would be, first of all, they should see that what field really interests them. So everybody may not be wanting to join the government sector or the private sector or any particular sector for that matter. So once they have made their selection, they should have a timeline and work ruthlessly towards it, work really hard. And also I feel that along with working hard, it is very important for us to surround ourselves with very positive minded, like-minded people, because friends also decide the kind of journey we undergo, the kind of ambitions we are able to reach. There could be friends who tell that
Have great friends. That is her message. We lost her. You're back? Shikhaji, are you back? No, we lost her again. They have jammers in the Vidhan Sauda, so I guess it's a challenge for her. And in spite of such a busy day, she managed to come here for us. And I would actually, Shamanta, if you could request her to send a video recorded message for our participants here, so we can play it sometime during the session. I don't think we'll be able to connect with her anymore. So
We'll do that.
Yes, thanks, Shamanta. So it was great hearing Ms. Shikha. She is a dynamic woman, an inspiration for the youngsters today. And it was great that she could make it here. And I would have digitally felicitated her if she was still here, with a huge round of applause for her. Please, all of you clap for her. With that, we move on to our next guest today, and that is Dr. Indra. Dr. Indra has been associated with DSU with Dayanand Sagar institutions for a very long time. She's the HOD of Obstetrics and Gynecology, Sagar Hospitals, Bangalore. Former Associate Professor in Vani Vilas Hospital, Bangalore Medical College. She has worked for 17 years in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. She's a BSOG, Bangalore Society of Obstetrics and Gynecology member, and is on the elected executive committee, and she is now going to be the joint secretary in the BSOG. An expert in high-risk pregnancy and NDVH, she has also published scientific articles on the subject in medical journals. And we welcome you, Dr. Indra. It's great to have you here. You made time to be here before the session for the practice. Thank you so much. And a big round of applause for Dr. Indra. So, Dr. Indra, what is DSU's contribution to women's empowerment? Could you share a little about that?
Yeah. Before that, I just wanted to add what you said. You wanted to know why the Women's Day is celebrated. I just add to that to say that the International Women's Day started during the Great Unrest, you said 1908, in the city of New York during the World War I. And then it crossed the border of America and reached Russia and now celebrated all over the world. That's one thing I just wanted to add. And it should create an equal platform for all, irrespective of gender discrimination. That I just wanted to add. I didn't want to interrupt. And thank you very much for the kind introduction. And if you just repeat the question, I shall get back. Yeah.
So, what is Dayanand Sagar institution's contribution to women's empowerment?
Well, the answer lies in you only, Rajat, because you gave the great introduction of Dr. Chandrama Sagar. Because before you started with because being a Women's Day, you gave a very really great thing you did by giving such a good introduction of Dr. Chandrama Sagar, who happens to be my cousin sister. So I'm very proud to say that, because I'm sort of following her legacy, or probably I would say that I've taken this profession under her shadow, though I did not get a chance to work with her because I couldn't really. But I'm very, very, what to say, gifted probably to work under her shadow. That's the reason I'm continue to work in the Sagar institutions, the health especially, for the past 2 decades. She's the one who really gave so much of inspiration to me. In fact, I followed her footsteps. So I'm here in front of you today to sort of represent Sagar Hospitals. Yes. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. You completely justify the gender equality today for better tomorrow, and you bring it from the history, and now you are here and you're looking after a future.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So my next question is, as a woman, how has your professional journey been?
Yes, the journey, what I should say is that I am among the 7, siblings to my parents, of course. Well, I'm the one who always showed the interest in sort of, from the childhood, probably looking at my, cousin, late Dr. Chandrama Sagar. So my mother would always brought me to her to get some sort of an inspiration, whether I would also follow her footsteps from the small, though there was so much age difference. I was very small when my mom used to take me when I was in high school. So looking at her achievements and all that day by day, it sort of created some sort of an interest to learn. I mean, the medicine, the childhood also, I used to play, the doctor's patient, how all kids do like that. But this one inclination was little more towards the medicine. But my mom is the one who always wanted me to take up the music. She wanted me to learn veena, instrumental. So she put me, and I was very reluctantly going for that. Though my mother forced me to go there, but my inclination was this side. When the time came when I had to join those days, it was the pre-university where we had to take the option, whether science or art, like that. So that is the time I did express to my father that I want to go for a medicine, want to become a doctor like Akka, Chandrama was Akka. So my mother said, no, you're among 7 because we have 4 sisters. He said, it's very difficult to put you there. Then, later they think of the marriage and all like that. Very difficult. No. You pursued in music. It is my father and my 2 of my elder brothers who supported me and stood in front of my mother and said that let her go. So what I would want to say here is, it is not looking at the mother, it's the men at home. The support system should start from home. That is your father and the brothers. That's how I entered the medicine, and I'm in front of you today.
Wow, so this is a message for the men here, that if you support the women in your family,
first at home,
yes, you can create histories. You can create strong careers. Awesome. It's a great thing to know, Doctor. I'll go to my next question. If you could change one thing about a woman's life, what would that be?
This is something your question is asking for a models or the Miss World like that. So what I would say is for the youngsters, the career and sort of girls these days are coming forward to enter into lot many fields. My only one, I'm a doctor, so I have to read some message to the girls who are delegates. What I would say that this is from the university. That's why I'm happy to bring out, instead of making how to make the career and all that, I would just add something different. Probably it will, like that. It is true that everybody wants to fetch something in life. Today, we have the woman empowerment. We have a lot of opportunities. The parents are supporting. The government is supporting. And everywhere we are coming forward. The girls are coming forward. But please, one thing I would want to advise here, because I am a senior gynecologist, I would want to give some message. That is my motto for joining today. Please, please, please take care of, that there has to be some discipline in selecting your career, or how you have to maintain, yourself being a woman, because we are totally different from men, because we have certain, what is called as, we have our own physiology. I will come to that point only. Physiology, one has to take care. There is something called, diurnal variations and our ovarian cycles and all that. Everything gets affected. The stress level, the lifestyle, and the food what girls take, and the amount of sleep they have to sort of sleep every day, and what the balanced diet. All these things are very, very important. This is what I wanted to give this message, instead of talking so many other things like that. This message, I want to bring it. Whatever you want to achieve, please be very methodical and keep this thing on your balanced diet and the lifestyle, which is most important. Otherwise, we end up with something called some sort of a, imbalanced physiology in girls. That is the message I just wanted to give. This is little out of the subject, but still I thought I will take this opportunity to give this. Yeah,
definitely. In fact, I want to ask you a question which is related to this. I'm glad you brought it up. I've been wanting to start this awareness program on PCOD and precocious puberty. The problem with taking a girl to a gynec's clinic is that the moment the girl goes to the gynac clinic, everybody in the clinic thinks that she's pregnant, and that's why she's there. But I believe that when a girl gets her puberty, she should be taken to a gynac so that she gets to learn about the way to deal with this new new skill that has, or a new way of living that has come into her life. I want to start it as a movement, ma'am, and I would like to hear your thoughts about it.
Yeah, in fact, in Sagar Hospital, I have taken up this. I have given several talks also in Banchankri Hospital for the youngsters, you see, like that. The PCOD is one of my passion, In fact, I wanted to start PCOD clinic in Sagar Hospital, main Sagar Hospital, Jayanagar. Since you brought out this, probably with, little bit of pressure from your side, requesting the management to start a PCOD clinic, I would be the first one to take up this project, and then I shall be very, very useful. Or even no project also, you can send all the girls to me for the consultation. That I can do. Yes. Or you can call me to the university. I'll come and give a talk.
Sure, ma'am. I'm so glad that you are offering your help in this, and I'm going to connect you offline. Yeah. So one last message from you, ma'am.
Yes. The message is that, because women are the multitaskers, so we have various responsibilities, First, you will be first, should I say, the daughter, and you would be the sister, and you would be the wife and the mother, and also having a lot of professional responsibilities. And one should have a real balance, and you should be focused on what you're dealing with and how to divide your timings. You have to give it to the family, because you should never compromise to the family also, because whatever you achieve with the family, children are going to say at the end that you did not give enough time for us. So please see that you divide your timings and then do the work. Yeah, this is what is the message from my side. Yes. Thank you very much.
Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. And it means a lot coming from someone with your number of years of experience. Thank you so much for being here and inspiring the students here. And I would like to digitally felicitate you with a huge round of applause for Dr. Indira.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. And with that, I would move to our next program. Any guesses what this is? So there are so many women achievers out there that we had to do this. We had to have a panel discussion with those brave hearts. 3 or 4 of them sitting together. We found 3 amazing women for all of you to meet and to hear their views about how can today's women bring the better future for tomorrow. So let's put our hands together for Ms. Shri Lakshmi. Let me introduce Ms. So I've got 3 people here, Ms. Shri Lakshmi, Vandana Suri, and Pragati Gowda, all 3 amazing achievers. And you're going to get to know just right now. So Ms. Shri Lakshmi believes that achievement is connected with action, and neither of them are gender dependent. Shri has smashed the glass ceiling several times over by proving that women can do science, women can be in applied science. She has generated and monetized the global awarded patent and intellectual property. So she has a patent at tri-phase within few years of her starting her entrepreneurial journey. She's experienced in capital raising and in developing investor readiness. Her background in technology commercialization is pivotal in envisaging multiple applications of a platform for generating different sustainable revenue lines. Very complicated, let me explain. She is capable of generating several revenue lines. She helps women to become self-sufficient through this capability. That makes sense, right? Now, she's been nominated to and awarded several times over, at least 50 that I saw in the list. I can't read that down. That's like a menu. So let me read out some which are really notable. She's the winner of Economic Times Power of Ideas 2016. She is the Businesswoman of the Year awarded by eMerge 2014. FKCCI awarded her the Women Achiever Award March 2019. She's also won the BioExcellence Award as Emerging Company 2018. And she, from the government of Karnataka. And last but not the least, she's been featured in Your Story. That's Shri Lakshmi for you. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Rajat. Really appreciate. In fact, when you read it, I realize, okay, there is some things that has been achieved or done.
Great. Let me introduce our next guest. Vandana is a woman of few words and a woman of action. She actually did not mention in her introduction that she's recently won an award from the World Bank. And we are going to hear that from her. But here is what she mentioned. She is an ex-investment banker turned cabbie with a lot of pride. She's the founder of Tax She, a unique organization focusing on women and child safety and with a practical solution of women driving for women and kids. She's the winner of World Bank. Okay, it's here. She's the winner of World Bank Award under the SDGs, and her Okay, that's the competition, SDG and her 2019. And there were participants from over 188 countries there. You make us proud, Vandana. She is a woman who reiterates that change begins with me. And I totally believe in that. I know her story of how she got the idea of taxi, and maybe we will get a chance to hear from her.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
Welcome, welcome. Our next guest is someone actually logging in from London early morning, and she's looking charming, and she's the youngest person here in the room. She's still in her 20s. Pragati is a rallyist par excellence. She has participated in Mysore Gravel Fest, Indian 2019, Indian Autocross Championship 2019 and 2020, winner of National Gymkhana Championship, winner in INRC 3 2019 and 2020 Rally D Hampi. Okay, this is like a long list. Okay, this is like a hotel menu. She is a racer, and she races like nobody else, no other woman in India. Okay, and here is her greatest achievement. She will be driving the McLaren GT4 in the 2022 GT Cup. Okay, now that is an international Grand Prix, right? She's a car racer now. And I'm really, really happy to have you here, Pragati. She's presently, like I said, in London and has logged in from there for us to inspire our students. Great to have all three of you here. So my first question goes to Pragati. Can we at least hear your voice once so that I know?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me on this occasion. And yeah, happy Women's Day to all the beautiful women out there.
Awesome, Pragati. I heard your story of how you started off on this, and it's really inspiring. So my first question is, what is that one thing you feel proud of as a woman? Or, okay, so I will start with very tough decision, huh? So I'll go to Pragati, the youngest member here. Yes, Pragati.
It's not only one thing, but there are many things that every woman is proud of. Strength, compassion, empowerment, depth, understanding, intuition, and power is what I believe in. Like, there are elements of femininity that makes me proud and keep me going. Like, these are what we should be teaching young girls and teens and value and make sure that they nurture in themselves.
Great, great. All of those things that you use for the car racing, you mentioned them all. Great determination.
Yes.
Thanks for that. So let's go to Vandana. She's also related to cars. Somehow I have two speakers today who are related to the cars and autos. So Vandana, what about you?
Firstly, thank you for bringing two women in the mobility segment here. You're making a mark out there. So I think the best thing a woman brings to the table is actually the ability to multitask. Okay, I think we are constant hustlers in our life, whether it's with our families, whether it's with our relationships, whether it's with our work, and we can do so much. Sorry to sound like an absolute feminist, but you give a man one job and he's done with it, and we do multiple. So I think I'm like tuck tuck tuck. I think that's the power that we have, that we are able to multitask. We're wired to multitask. So I think that's what I love best.
Thanks, Vandana. And I can see Shri smiling away. So Shri, you're next. Please share your thoughts.
First and foremost, thank you for having me here. And it's absolute pleasure and privilege to sit between Vandana and Pragati, both from the mobility industry. Pragati, you are my hero now, because I am one of those persons who would like to go on biking. And very recently, in fact, this year, 2021, I did Leh Ladakh on bike with 6 other girls. So I think so. You are one big inspiration from Mysore. I am sitting in Mysore. Next time you are here, I'm going to meet you in person. Vandana, absolute pleasure to hear your achievements, and from investment banker to to the area that you have taken. Believe me, ma'am, I use your taxi all the time when I travel back from the airport or to the airport.
Thank you.
So I think somewhere we all relate to each other. Yes, I come from a very different industry. I come from probiotics or biotech industry, but I vow to keep both of you healthy and happy with all those good bacteria inside you and help them to increase them. So here we are related to each of our professions. But one thing that has worked for me, and I have seen both in my grandmother, mother, or people around me, or ladies around me, is women have, this species is known to have great mental strength, a higher mental strength. I haven't heard a woman farmer committing suicide. And that doesn't mean that what men do are to be ashamed of, but only thing what I'm trying to say is, if times are tough, we are the one who stand up. We are the one who actually take the bull by the horn, and we are the ones, whether we family or whether we work, we don't shy away from them. So when times are tough, I think so a woman stands up, and COVID has been the best example that where there were women presidents and women at helm of taking charge of the COVID problem, things sorted out much faster, much better. So I personally have this this belief that we are a very strong species when it comes to mental toughness. Might not be physical to most of it time, but at least when it comes to mental toughness, we are a stronger species by ourselves.
Thanks, Shri. So not many know that Shri actually qualified to be the Air Force pilot in the very first batch, Gunjan Saksena's batch. And her mother said that that would not be a good thing for a girl. And therefore, she did not take up that as a career. So Shri is mobility to the...
Absolutely. It's the new mantra.
So now I'm going to ask a personal question from each one of you, okay? Because you guys have achieved success in areas which are unconventional, yeah? So my question to you is, and I will come first to Pragati again, yeah? Because somehow having a young girl with so much experience is simply, inspiring for us older people, okay? So Pragati, tell us about your story, your journey. Why did you choose to become a car racer, and what is this McLaren all about? Tell us a little about it, because I'm told that it's a national honor for us that a woman from India was selected for it, and we are super proud of it. So let us know a little about yourself.
Started with a dream and passion towards achieving it. I started riding when I was 13 years old, and two-wheel, and then slowly transferred to a four-wheel, and then got into racing and all of that and rallying. And now I'm driving for MRF tires in India. And Formula Women is something like encouraging women throughout the world. And it's circuit racing basically. So it's like a championship which goes on in the year 2022. It happens in the European countries. So here's the selection. So from India, top 3 get selected. So I'm one amongst them, and yeah, I'm here for the selection rounds. So once I get selected, so I will be driving a McLaren. That's what I believe.
Oh, and I'm sure you will. Well, good luck to you from all the DSU students and people present.
Thank you
here.
so much. Thank you so much.
So you just chose just like that to come to become a rallyist.
My brother and my dad inspired me to get here, and I was too much into automobiles right from my childhood. So I lost my brother 3 years back. So soon after that, I wanted to achieve something. Like I wanted to, make sure that I make him proud. Like I do something to him. Like I really wanted to achieve. So yeah, that's where I'm here.
And I'm sure your brother is proud of you wherever he is. So I'll now go over to, thank you so much, and God bless you. I'll now go over to Vandana. Vandana, what inspired you to start taxi? What happened to you? A very, very male-dominated industry, an industry which has the worst of tongue, to get into it and, to rub shoulders with all of it.
So honestly, I was like a soda bottle waiting to pop up. Okay. I think I've been all the time as a child also, I had to do something which nobody else would have the guts to do. I mean, just take up challenges like that. So I think somewhere, and I think as a woman, we all feel so unsafe all the time. So I was like, kya kare, kya kare? But I think after the Nirbhaya incident, there was a rape in an Uber in Delhi, which really triggered me. The headlines came the next day that if there was a woman driving me, this would not have happened. And that was it. That was my bottle opener also, because while there was so much energy inside me and all the guts that I had, and then this happened, and I said, what she's talking makes sense. Where are the women drivers? And that's it. That 1 minute changed my life. Everything cushy went down the drain. And I think life was waiting for things to channelize. It manifests. So you're always the odd one out, and everybody's like, you're too gutsy for this world, and kya karegi life mein? You're such a moop heart. But I think there's always somewhere where all your energies get channelized, and it was meant to happen. That's
awesome. Thanks for your answer. And I really love that part that you read one small news article. So folks, I asked this question from Vandana because I wanted you to hear that one small news article, one corner, it must have been in the third page of the paper, probably.
Yeah, maybe. But what she was talking was so...
Yes.
When we are talking about mobility, when the whole world talks about mobility right now, everybody talks of electric vehicles, and they talk about apps, but who's talking about us? Koi baat hi nahi kar raha.
So what I wanted to say is that an entrepreneur is like that. One small article can just simply cause a movement, and that's what Vandana is all about. So I would move on to Shri now. And I mean, the more I talk about her, the more I talk to her, I feel that she is capable of becoming a Nobel laureate. Okay. And I really pride in knowing you, Shri. So let us know what makes you tick.
Okay, so I have been from the standard life that is supposed to be of a tier 2 city. Generally women, and I come from an academic family. My parents are from academicians, so thought about that I should be studying, I should be coming up in the academics, research, blah blah blah. The Shri in me doesn't believe in it. The Shri in me is one hell of a Vandana Suri out there. Move it. And a person who is ready to pop up. But the way life went was that I really did what was to be done. But one thing or the other always comes out when you are not what you are supposed to do. So as I said, I came from an academic family. Padhai likhai was part of our lifestyle. There was nothing new that I was doing. If I hadn't done that also, then there was a problem actually. But at the same time, wanted to explore life in many ways. If my day is predictable, I'm the worst person to be with, because I become very, very useless, and I become very nasty to people around me. So as long as I have the spikes of and that's why, Vandana, I have deep respects for you. You were an investment banker. So as long as the stock market ka spikes nahi hote hain life mein, tab tak I don't enjoy my life. So this is something that has been there with me. Going by, answering your question, Rajat, is that actually I had a professorship. I was a lecturer in engineering college. And the second semester, I realized that I'm repeating my lectures even without opening the books. And at that age, it kind of scared the hell out of me. कि इस तरह से life निकलने वाली है, where I'm not even going to open my books to go and deliver a lecture. This is not what I want. So just on the basis of that, 3 months of an award from Madhya Pradesh government, I took that, gave up my government job, which my mother actually climbed walls that time because it was unthoughtful of anybody. They thought now the PhD is over, she's got a job, she'll get settled down, typical, standard of life. And I gave up that and went off to NCL Pune, which led to ISC Bangalore, which led to Canada, working there in Pfizer as a scientist, which further led to going back to doing an MBA in Canada after a gap of 12 years actually from my PhD to doing an MBA and starting this company called Tritis Pharmaceutical. Now, why did I start Tritis Pharmaceutical was highly, again, scientific answer. While at Pfizer, I realized that I could save lives by doing the research that I was doing, but that was not something that was more of a symptomatic relief. That was not curing the problem. And I knew I was working on some areas called in the cardiovascular division, and I knew that I'm going to prolong life of this person by 8 years if the person takes this drug, which was part of my invention. But I knew that after 8 years, his or her kidneys or liver, at least, the most important was liver, will come off. So basically what we were doing was trying to just enhance the life, symptomatic relief, but not actually doing anything which was going to cure the problem. And that was the time when 2009, I came back to India. And of course, because of the family thing, because parents were getting old. And that brought me to India. And since, once you do this MBA, you have this weird sense that you are the next Ambani. So based on that, I said, okay, I'm going to start a company. And again, that was another big shock for both everybody in the house, thinking that, "Bhai, ab to life thik thikane chal rahi hai. Why are you again going back?"
So here I am going to interject for interest of time. Shri then went on to start a company which got its first round of Series A funding. She became a very successful CEO. Within few years, she turned the company around and made it profitable. I think 2 years. Yeah, right? And the Shri today, she has come up with an idea which is mind-blowing, but we are not going to talk about that idea today. We leave it for next time. So this is our panelists up close to all people who are listening in today. And now I would like to hear in 30 seconds each from each of you, what would you leave our audience with? So I will start with, again, with Pragati. Pragati, you're on mute. Just unmute yourself.
Yeah, I would like to leave all of you with just one thought, that just be bold, don't fear for anything, just don't ever lose, confidence because of people and their negativity. And I'm sure if we are smart enough to tackle things, and if we really need to prove things, I think we are up for it. And yeah, just break the glass and just go for it and show your speed and skills out there.
Awesome. Thanks, Pragati. Thanks for that. Next, Vandana, what about you?
I would say that, your life, no matter what you do, I'm talking to a lot of college students out here. No matter what career you choose or you're forced to choose or whatever, okay, invariably your life's calling will come and you will find your way. So you don't need to feel lost. Ki main kahan ghus gaya. I did my CA. I went into banking, and I'm a cabbie. I'm an instructor right now, and we never thought that this would happen. But my education came handy wherever I went. So go on with it. Life will find its way. Don't break your head over it. Your destiny will come to you.
Thank you so much, Vandana. And I'll move over to Shri.
I have only one thing to add: perseverance. That's all works. Passion, grit, all other things are different. But if you have perseverance in whatever you want to do, there's no way that you will not be successful. So have faith in you, but more so, whatever you are doing, keep that perseverance on. Once you do that, you are a success.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And a digital felicitation for all three of you for coming here and inspiring our students. Please, a big round of applause for our panelists.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Pragati, Vandana, and Shri. It was an honor talking to you.
Thank you.
Same here. Thank you so much.
Thanks. So with this, I will now invite one of our students to take a pledge. So, and you will hear the detail about that pledge from Shambhavi. So Shambhavi is an engineering student in DSU, and you will now hear from her. Shambhavi, you there? Yes, there you are. You have to unmute yourself. Actually, you are unmute, okay. Am I the only one? Okay, now I can hear.
Yes, ma'am. So we are jumping into the most exciting part that we had planned for a very long time. And here it is. We're going to be taking a pledge today on this beautiful occasion, along with the presence of all this amazing panelists out there and all the participants. So here it is. Women of today for a better tomorrow. I, along with my fellow students and teachers at DSU, pledge on the centenary year of Shri and Sagar ji, who hold common interests. We pledge to empower women and elevate themselves to be courageous and face injustice rightfully. We would like to make the best use of all the governmental schemes for women and help them realize their abilities and skills by organizing and conducting drives for underprivileged women in remote places, by adopting villages, and also making the legal projects set up for them and be financially independent, fairly educated and well informed to lead a life of her choice. Here's hoping that many such projects flow out and have a strong impact. Thank you. This is Shambhavi signing off.
Thank you, Shambhavi. So for all of you to know a little bit of detail, DSU has adopted certain villages, and the pledge is about us forming a group of girl students led by the faculties here, Professor Archana and Professor Nandini, to go out in these villages to help implement government schemes related to women, such as Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, and then other gender-related schemes fall under NSS and UGC initiatives. And this is going to really help roll out those schemes which are issued by the government, but there aren't enough hands to, to take them forward. So thank you so much, Shambhavi, for your pledge. And it's really going to be a fun year seeing you guys bring the women of today out of their difficult situations to be able to go into the future with their heads held high. Thanks. And a big round of applause to all girl students of DSU for offering to do this. Thank you so much. And our next speaker is none other than Professor Archana P. Lakur. I'm a big fan of hers. I just met her like yesterday, but she is a dynamic, amazing lady. Let me introduce you.
Madam, before that, we have a video from Madam Shikha, so we can play that.
Yes, please, please.
Wish you all best of luck. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shikha ma'am, and we really missed you. We could not complete our question answer session, so Shamantha will look forward to another session with Shikha ma'am. With that, I am handing over now to the young and energetic Professor Archana P. Lakur, for whom age is just a number and gender just a state of being. She is a faculty of English and a AKAM chairperson for DSU and also a NSS coordinator. Her passion is to empower students through strong communication skills. She actively encourages students to come forward and participate in activities which would give them the opportunity to expand as individuals. It's an amazing work you're doing, ma'am. And over to you, ma'am, for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Rajat ma'am. We all are a team working on these lines though. So today's theme is gender equality today for a sustainable tomorrow. No duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. With this, I thank the Honorable Chairman, Pro Vice Chairman, Vice Chancellor Sir, Pro Vice Chancellor Sir, Registrar Sir, Deputy Registrar Sir, Secretary Sir for their continued support and guidance. Thank you very much. Now, on behalf of the management, I, Archana Lokur, thank Honorable Chief Guest, Madam C. Shikha, IAS Officer. Thank you, Madam. You are so dynamic yet simple, and you reiterated on the familial values and also a message to the youngsters that never give up attitude is what you have communicated. Thank you, Madam. Moving on to Dr. K.M. Indira Reddy from Sagar Hospitals. She again insisted upon the familial values and the legacy that she is following and the support that is required for any individual to excel. Thank you, Madam. Moving on to Dr. Shri Lakshmi, Madam, one of the panelists for the day. She was so straightforward. She said, take the bull by the horns and move on. She also said that it's very important to be emotionally and mentally strong. Thank you, Madam, for the wonderful message. Next on our panel is Madam Vandana Suri. Vandana Suri, Madam, thank you very much for telling all of us to, instead of keeping on trying, just do it. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Madam. It's well received. Next on the panel, we have Pragati Gowda, who is a rallyist, very progressive, very hopeful. So she has been following her passions, and that is what her message also is for all of us. Be bold, and the you is important, is what her message is. Thank you, Pragati Gowda, Madam. Now, to you, Rajat Rashmi, Madam, who has kept this webinar very interesting and very interactive. Thank you very much, Rajat Rashmi, Madam. We have Nandini, Madam, who is a very sweet person with her crisp welcome speech. She informed very well about our pride, Dayanand Sagar University. Thank you, Nandini, Madam. Now, the mobilizer of this event, Madam Shamantha, Deputy Director, Student Affairs, DSU. Thanks to all of you for your efforts for unifying this university's strength. All of us have come together today for this wonderful program. Thank you, Shamantha, Madam. Hope to see very many more in the near future. Dear Shambhavi, dear Ananya, thank you so much. You have been such wonderful student managers for the day. Our friendly IT guy, Mohammad Imtiaz, sir, thank you so much. Without you, this would not have been possible today. I thank the deans, principals, heads of the departments, coordinators, faculty colleagues, and students for your attention and patience in understanding the purpose of today's webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all. Over to you, Rajat, Madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the amazing vote of thanks. You've thanked every single person in the panel. And with that, I would like to end this session. Thank you all for being here and for making this unique event for DSC. And next year, we are going to come with a lot more.
Can we request all the participants to switch on their videos so that we can quickly click few pictures, Nandini ma'am?
So you
Switch
can't
on your
see the
videos.
participants on the screen, ma'am. This is all you can see, so we can just
Okay. Okay. Maybe have Shambhavi.
Shambhavi, please switch on your video.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Happy Women's Day to all of you.
Happy Women's Day.
Bye bye. Have a great day and a great
Thank
year.
you, Shri ma'am. Thank you, Vandana ma'am. Thank you, Shamanta ma'am. Nandini, Rajat, Shambhavi. Thank you all.
For the wonderful. Thank you all. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.